Hey everyone, the past 3 boxes I received from Retro Game Treasure gave me so many different emotions, so I figure we can go through each month and see what I got. Full disclosure, they did not send me anything for review or for free. I am a paid subscriber, I paid for the full year, they have no idea I'm making this video, and they have zero influence over what I say. In case you don't know what Retro Game Treasure is, it's a monthly subscription service where they send you video games right to your door. You have the ability to pick and choose what systems you want to collect for, with a wide variety of preferences. From genre of games to consoles to condition, there's a lot of different things you can choose from. As for my preferences, I did update them over the course of the year, but eventually I settled at Nintendo GameCube games and cartridge-based Nintendo games. I'm okay with loose cartridges, and I'm okay with multiple very cheap games in order to get one expensive one. I'm also going to show you footage from every game, just to show you that they work. I captured the games using the Retron 5 whenever I was able to. As for prices, I prefer using the website pricecharting.com, and I will be showing you both American and Canadian values for each item that I can find. The prices for all 3 months were looked at their current values as of July 22nd, 2021. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up, it really helps out the channel, and please consider subscribing for more video game related content. With all that out of the way, let's get started. This is the first of 3 boxes we're going to open up in this video, and this one is for the month of May 2021. Of course, we have the obligatory bubble wrap, and it's still inflated, which is nice. Every so often, they're completely deflated by the time they get to me. First off, we have Blaster Master for the original Nintendo. The label looks to be in okay condition. It's definitely not perfect, but it is used, so I'm not that surprised. There is very small rips in it, but nothing that's gonna bother me too much. As for the case itself, it looks really good. There's no scuff marks or permanent marker or anything like that. As for the pins, we won't really know until we open it up or test it out. Next, as we try and get ourselves back into focus here, we have a loose copy of Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island for the Game Boy Advance, and it looks to be in pretty good shape. To be fair, I don't usually see Game Boy Advance games in poor condition. The labels often look pretty good. The case itself looks great. There's really not much more you can ask for from a loose cartridge, especially considering how old it is. Third, we have Tech Deck Skateboarding for the Game Boy Color. This is a game I have never heard of before. I'm not really looking for skateboarding games either, but I did leave sports open on my preferences as I'm hoping they send me something like Mario Golf. The label looks to be in really nice condition, as well as the cartridge itself. And finally, tucked away in the corner, we have a loose copy of Mario Kart DS. So this is something I am 99% sure of. This is a fake copy of the game. This is actually the picture on the game case, but not the real picture used for the label. The label itself looks really gross too. This was actually the last box for my 1-year subscription, and it ended with the very last game being a fake, which is a massive downer. I actually enjoyed the vast majority of the games they sent me over the year, and because of the delays from the pandemic, my subscription auto-renewed and it actually re-upped before I knew they sent me a fake game. Before opening this, I actually planned on renewing anyways, but this left a bad impression on me. The one thing though, is the ratio of good games I got throughout the year and games that were on my wish list compared to this one fake game, I was still pretty satisfied overall. I take the same risk of getting fake games or broken games when I buy online or at thrift stores as well. Now let's check out the prices and give them a test. Here we can see Blaster Master working using the Retron 5, and it goes for $10.99 US or $13.81 Canadian. Here we can see Battle for Volcano Island, and it seems to work great, and it currently goes for $5.67 American or $7.12 Canadian. For Game Boy games, I'm using the 8-bit DOE SN30 wireless controller, essentially a wireless Super Nintendo controller, and I'm still using the Retron 5. Here you can see Tech Deck Skateboarding using the same controller, and it goes for $6.24 American or $7.84 Canadian. Playing handheld games using the Retron 5 works pretty well. The colors really do pop on certain games. And here's the fake Mario Kart DS, and it actually does load with sound and good visuals. It seems to be a fully working version of the game. but it's definitely not authentic, so I didn't even bother looking for the price. Now this is my first box of my renewed subscription. This is for the month of June 2021. So let's see if they can start off the new subscription better than they left off the last one. The sticker here actually gave me a slight issue, but we got it. And of course, the bubble wrap to start. First, we have a loose copy of SpongeBob SquarePants Lights, Camera, Pants for the Game Boy Advance, and it looks to have a fairly crisp label. Again, Game Boy Advance games tend to always have nice looking labels. Personally, I enjoy it when they send me something that relates to the last month's box. Next, we have another loose copy of Tech Deck Skateboarding for the Game Boy Color. Again, it looks nice, but they already sent me this, so that's a massive pain. There should be no reason for it because the way the service works, they auto-update my file of owned games to avoid sending doubles. It's not something that I need to fill out, their system does it on its own. Third, we have another copy of Mario Kart DS. This, however, from all the research I did from the last box, this is a real copy of the game, so it is nice that they sent me a real copy. I never told them they sent me a fake, I never complained, this was solely on them to replace the fake one. And finally, they sent me a loose copy of Yoshi for the original Nintendo. This does have a weird mark on it. Someone wrote the letter P at the top, and I'm not entirely sure what that could stand for. It does seem like something I could clean, so I'm not overly concerned about it. The rest of the label and cartridge looks pretty nice otherwise. As you can tell, they ended up sending me 2 duplicates. I have no idea if they are aware they sent me a fake Mario Kart. Maybe it was in their files so they wanted to replace it, but then that makes me think, is the first Tech Deck fake? Are they sending me a replacement for that one too? And if they knew they were fake, why were they sent to me in the first place? So right away I wanted to compare the games. I actually went and grabbed last month's copies of the doubles. The newer copy they sent me is on the left, with last month's on the right. So the labels on Tech Deck are actually different colors. The first one they sent me is actually lighter, so I did some investigating and looking real close, you can tell the Nintendo seal of quality is actually off-centered, which is usually a dead giveaway that it's fake. But that's for the most recent cartridge. Why would they need to send me another copy? It doesn't make sense. With the Mario Kart, maybe they realized it was a fake the first time, so they replaced it, but that logic doesn't seem to fit with Tech Deck. You'll have to let me know what you think about it. And here we have a side-by-side of the 2 Mario Kart DS games they sent me, again with the newer one on the left. Obviously, the labels are completely different, but on the back, the Nintendo logo and the patent font are also completely different. This comparison isn't nearly as difficult as the other one, but I wanted to show you that even things like the fonts branded into the cartridge can be a sign of a fake game. And to double check everything, at the end of the video, I'm actually going to open up all the cartridges and take a look inside at the circuit boards. If you know different tricks about fake games, or if you can tell which Tech Deck is fake, or are both real, let me know. Now, moving on to giving them a quick test, here we have SpongeBob SquarePants Lights, Camera, Pants for the Game Boy Advance. This is a side-scrolling game, and it goes for $5.74 American or $7.21 Canadian. Followed by Tech Deck again. This is footage from the second cartridge. I had to make sure this one worked as well, and I had no issues. Again, valued at $6.24 American or $7.84 Canadian, which is the same price I stated earlier. Third, we have the new cartridge for Mario Kart DS. Handheld footage is always the most difficult to get. I just don't have a good way to capture this footage. But the game does work, and the loose cartridge currently goes for $9.29 American or $11.67 Canadian. And finally, we have Yoshi on the original Nintendo, which is a Tetris Dr. Mario style game with Mario characters, which goes for $11.15 American or $14.01 Canadian. And now we have one more box to open up in this video. This is the box they sent me for the month of July 2021. Hopefully there's no more doubles or fakes, and this will be a completely fresh box. We have been getting a lot of loose cartridges, which I'm not surprised about, but it would be nice to get something complete this time. Let's find out. Once we get past the sticker and bubble wrap, we can see our first game, and to start off we have X-Men Mutant Academy for the Game Boy Color. Really nice and crisp label, no marks on it or anything. I really like X-Men, so at first glance, this is nice to add to the collection. I'm not entirely sure what style of game it is, but we'll find out together shortly. Second, we have Pac-Man for the original Game Boy. Just a classic game to add to the collection. Again, with a nice looking label. This is a game I already have about 5 different ways to play, but this isn't one of them, so it's always good to have it. Third, we have a game that was actually on my wish list. For the Game Boy Advance, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire. I love the original Pokemon Pinball and never had the chance to try this one, so I'm really looking forward to it. The label is okay, it does look like there's slight scratches on the label, but it's not actually torn or anything, so I don't mind. I'm not surprised this one is loose because complete Pokemon games are usually really expensive. Pokemon games in general usually go for higher values in the secondhand market because no one actually wants to get rid of their copies, so it's very nice to be able to get one this way. And finally, we have Top Gun for the original Nintendo. There is some slight dirt marks on the cartridge and label, but nothing that can't be cleaned, so I'm totally fine with it. They have been sending me an NES game pretty frequently, so it's definitely helping me build my collection. I am a little frustrated I didn't get any Super Nintendo games yet, but that's just a personal thing. Maybe I can update my preferences to help me increase my chances of it in the future. This is a licensed game, and from this era, these style of games usually aren't the best quality, but we'll find out shortly. Trying out X-Men, it's a fighting game, and I was terrible at it. I'm bad enough at fighting games, but this one was not intuitive at all. But it works and looks fairly decent for the style, and it goes for $5.83 American or $7.32 Canadian. Pac-Man on the original Game Boy worked fine, but it was probably the worst version of Pac-Man I have ever played. From 5 minutes of testing, the look and sound were both subpar. This will definitely be a display piece at $5.60 American or $7.03 Canadian. Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire for the GBA worked great, and it also looked great on the Retron 5. The two different boards are much more complex compared to the first game, and a loose copy currently goes for $31.69 American or $39.81 Canadian. And the last game for the 3-month span, Top Gun on the NES, was okay. It wasn't the smoothest game to play. When checking the price for it, I realized this is the 5-screw version, which goes for $7.51 American or $9.43 Canadian. So I tried opening up the cartridges on film, but the quality just really wasn't there, so I took some pictures to try and show you the circuit boards. First, I opened up Yoshi on the NES. Right away, I don't see any major issues with it. Nothing stands out as being fake. Sometimes you'll see a date on the board that came out in the late 80s and it'll say 2001, which is a dead giveaway that the board isn't from the right time period, or it won't have the Nintendo copyright anywhere. Next, I opened up Pokemon Pinball. I chose this because it's one of the more expensive games they sent me, and I want to make sure that it's a legitimate copy of the game, which this does seem to be. Again, nothing stands out to me which would make me think it's fake. Now, I have both copies of Tech Deck opened up in order to see the differences between them, and honestly, they look the same. With the same copyrights and what looks to be the same chips, this makes me think both are real, but the labels are different, so it's possible one of them is a replacement label that was put on by someone. I'm not entirely sure, so I'm still going to do some more research on this moving forward. Some of these older games aren't very popular anymore, so information of this style isn't very common. Finally, we have Mario Kart DS. Now, DS games are a massive pain because there's no easy way to open them. Basically, they're designed to not be open. So once I do, the game is essentially destroyed. But because I know the first copy they sent me is fake, I'll crack it open and show you what a fake game looks like. I'm not going to open up the second one because I'm fairly certain it's real and I don't want to ruin the game if it is a legitimate copy. So as you can see, on the board itself, it has a big round blob, which is 99% of the time a dead giveaway that it's fake. It also doesn't have the Nintendo copyright anywhere on the board. Again, a clear sign. Now, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this copy, as it did work before I opened it, so maybe I can super glue it back together, but I'm unsure for now. So, there we have it, 3 months of retro game treasure. From fake games to games on my wishlist, this service definitely has ups and downs. While the fake games are a massive pain, there's always a risk when it comes to retro games. Buying used games from garage sales, thrift stores, or anywhere else, you need to know the signs of what to look for. As for retro game treasure, they almost made it the full year with no massive issues. It's a shame my first year ended that way, but they did start to make up for it right away, which was nice. And I never told them or complained, so they seem to have figured out their own mistake, which is a good thing. But what about you? Have you had any experience with fake games? Were you able to get it replaced? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the thumbs up, it really helps out the channel. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more video game related content. Please share the video or channel with any of your friends who might enjoy it, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I know DS games aren't meant to be open, but I gotta say, it was definitely a struggle to open up the damn thing.